Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky, the Dragonchain Updates show. This is episode DENDAO 0xd3, the 212th episode. That's really how you pronounce it, apparently, Hex D3. Reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice, and stay tuned after the updates for an AMA. So I'll try to get through the updates pretty quick. So first, for Dragonchain Updates, our last week show distribution for this show, Super Happy Dragon Lucky, 304 governance lot was created. There were 2 questions for 76 lot. There was no featured post. The host received 76 and Dragonchain received 76. So that's how you get weight in voting on anything with the show. Next, we go to Den.social Updates. So the August 2023 LCP layers are now live. The winners were animals and Dragonchain social influencers. So you should automatically be subscribed to those. So if you don't want to see anything in them, you can unsubscribe. But either way, do watch for any governance votes on branding them or setting descriptions or any of the normal things that would happen with the communities. Also, Coffee with Den is on hiatus until September because Dave is in the process of relocating. Watch for an announcement for episode 82 at its new time of 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 2000 Eastern. And with DENDAO updates, join us today for DENDAO at 1500 Eastern or 1900 UTC. The agenda is posted. Make sure you go in and let us know if there's anything you'd like to discuss. Everyone's welcome to join. You don't have to turn your camera on. It's just a meeting. It's not a show. And now the World Blockchain Roundtable updates. So in case you missed it, last week's episode was blockchain as a solution for economic emigration. Go make sure you watch it, share it, make sure you subscribed. The more views that it gets the first week, the more lot all of the participants will get. And episode 118 airs today at 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC, in about 2 hours, that is. And the topic is employment and jobs. Make sure you get in there and leave a blockchain related question or subject to discuss, and also vote on the questions that are already posted so that they can be ranked and ordered for the show. So that's everything. So now we go straight to the AMA, and I'm going to switch over here myself. So the first question is from Aladita. So thanks for the questions. Hello, Joe and Dragon family. I hope everyone is safe and sound. I was thinking nearly 60% of Ethereum nodes are run on cloud services and become a centralized system. Imagine if any powerful entity decides to take down the whole Ethereum blockchain for some reason, and somehow they succeeded. So there are tons of interesting things that could happen there and different effects, and Bitcoin is different than Ethereum as well for some of the same issues. Question, what will happen to Dragonchain's tokenized micro license because it's ERC20 and also based on Ethereum, and most importantly, the Dragonchain's time system as a whole? accumulated time and quantity of Dragon tokens owned by different holders. Is there any way Dragon holders can prove their accumulated time and Dragons they own without the Ethereum network? And a backup plan for Dragon holders, like proof for accumulated time itself, and proof is stored somewhere else, for example, on the Bitcoin blockchain. I know it's hardly come to reality, but it is possible to have this kind of backup system that syncs periodically with different types of blockchains for preserving proofs of accumulated time and Dragon quantities simultaneously for holders. And with Factor, we can own and prove our data stored on different blockchains. So, okay, so more than one question, but I'll try to get through them all. So first of all, the tokenized micro license itself is not based on ERC20. It is not also based on Ethereum in any way. The tokenized micro license, and you can, if you search for TML or tokenized micro license technical brief, you can read about the model and at the high level, what it is, why it is, and how it is. Now, the implementation, and you could say it's a reference implementation. It was the first one, is the Dragon, which is, the Dragon itself is the ERC20. The Dragon itself is deployed onto Ethereum's blockchain. So the TML itself is the bigger, the conceptual design, the entity itself, whereas the deployment, the implementation of it is the Dragon. So given that, how can Dragon holders prove accumulated time and the Dragons they own without the Ethereum network? So let's say the Ethereum network was destroyed, right? You would still have backups, and you could say, okay, well, how do we prove these things? Well, to a certain point, and I'd have to think through, on the spot, I probably can't give you the perfect design, but you would be able to reference multiple existing chains or histories of the Ethereum chain to figure balances and figure latest information. We also, I don't know this for certain, but there are very likely ways, what you talk about, cross posting to Bitcoin, for example, so that you have a secondary. We already do that. Every single transaction that happens on Dragonchain is already hitting Ethereum and Bitcoin, and in the past has hit other chains as well, right? Binance, Neo, there are tons of others, right? So one way or another, I would have to think that there are ways that with the balance itself, it could happen. And the secondary thing is that the Dragonchain implementation that is an independent implementation, separate from the Dragon, of course, the time system. So if you go to the I think it's at time.dragonchain.com, but you go to the leaderboard, you enter in your address or enter in any address with Dragons in it, and it will give you the calculated time. We just did a pretty, well, I say massive refactor of that. We rewrote the whole system to be radically more efficient and far simpler to use. And that was in the past year that we did that. And that system as well, I believe, is posted on chain periodically, and we already have all of the time recorded. So definitely that. Beyond that, let's that is, we could use that to recover state and then move to, exactly as you said, move to Bitcoin, move to some other chain that makes sense. It really doesn't matter. Bitcoin is has far more measurable security attached to it than Ethereum does with the hash power. So it would be, we already use it, of course, but if you wanted to use it directly for the time system, you could. for that matter, other than some features that ERC20 gives people to move them around and put them on whatever wallets they want, and do whatever they want to do with their dragons, that you could very well implement it on Bitcoin. You could very well implement it, of course, on any of the other copycat chains that just re-rolled Ethereum. But the reason we didn't was because in the very beginning was because there was already a lot, and we've said this before, a large ecosystem of tools and various other libraries that were built to Ethereum. Go figure, they had all of that money having been selected by the regulators. But either way, it essentially allowed us to, put the license out there and let it live as people wanted it, let them use it however they independently wanted to use it, and they did. And it also prevented us from, needing to build hardware wallets or specialized mobile client wallets or any of the other infrastructure that was already there. That's why we did it. That's why ERC20 exists. So anyway, it's all. I can't tell you how safe Ethereum is. I can't even tell you how safe Bitcoin is. There's always some chance that there's some massive hole that is in the let's say the cryptography or itself, or otherwise in the architecture that we don't know about right now. But hopefully not. Hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully everything will be simple as we go forward. But everybody knows everything changes when you least expect it. So thanks for the question. I'm going to make sure I voted up a bunch. I meant to already vote on. I didn't, so I'm going to vote on these. And another question from you. You only get one credit for the two questions, but I'll answer both. Again, all I did to thanks for the questions. What's the difference between Cosmos Interchain and Dragonchain Interchain? Now, I saw this before and I thought, okay, I need to look a little bit. I'm no expert on Cosmos Interchain, and it's always best to not say anything negative about people or projects or anything else, because we love all projects, and we would welcome integrations with all projects. I would say, though, as a software architect, and this, maybe I'll speak generically about Dragonchain's philosophy, architecture, and model compared to other interoperability focused blockchains, because there have been a couple of others. I think Chainlink also came out early on in their history, focusing almost entirely on interoperability, interchain, and then they pivoted to be or decentralized oracles, right? So the thing that, and there are a couple of others, but the thing that I've noticed, and I can't speak specifically to Cosmos, so apologies there, but the thing that I've noticed is that the philosophy or the model, the architecture of most of all of the other interchain blockchains out there, and I mean no offense by this, that they are very, very key focused on the model that comes almost as an assumption because of the tech press and because there's not, frankly, enough creativity in the world on how Ethereum did it, and not how Ethereum did the interchain, but how Ethereum is built, and the fact that there is a virtual machine and that upon which your smart contracts run, for example. And the way that you have to have a layer one style of universal consensus. That is, there is only one blockchain, right? And Dragonchain is very, very very different from that approach. We do not have an EVM or an EVM compatible smart contract system. We have a smart contract system that can integrate any EVM. We could integrate a full Ethereum node or a full Cosmos node inside of a Dragonchain node. The philosophy of Dragonchain is much more focused on best practices, software build out that you essentially can build. It's as if you come into a Linux system and you can pretty much build anything that you need to build, and you can use any library you need to use, and it all fits. And that's the approach of Dragonchain. We don't set out a purist protocol that you have to integrate that library that you want to use into the protocol. Instead, you come into a Dragonchain development environment, and you have your blockchain for whatever you need to use your blockchain for, but you also have the ability from within that blockchain in a smart contract, or from outside that blockchain integrated with it. You have the ability to write best practices, microservices, to use Docker and Kubernetes if you like, to use any other form of a container system if you like, to use any Amazon or Google or Microsoft library that you like, to use any open source library that you like, to integrate code that somebody wrote 20 years ago in your company that needs to be integrated onto a blockchain. You don't have to question, oh, is it possible? Can I do it? It's just software. And I think that's maybe the best way to describe it, that Dragonchain is built on the idea that it is literally just software. And the great thing about that is it being just software, that anything can be done with software. That's the magic of it. That's why I was so attracted to it 25 years ago, however long ago it was. So that's the philosophy. And it kind of blows my mind that we've been largely ignored, because we can already do all of the things that are still now coming out. We've been able to do all of these things for years now. And I could give you theories as to why we're ignored. That's a different question. So, but yes, that's probably the best I can do. And I love Cosmos's branding, and they appear to have some pretty cool tech, and definitely have a lot of good devs. And yet, as a software architect, I'm very particular about certain things, software cannot be brittle. It has to be very free and open if you want it to be successful, and if you want to be able to do anything with it. So, great question. Thank you, Aladita. And let's see here. We have no featured content today. Oh, we have one more question. This is new. Great. The presidential campaigns in the U.S. are heating up. Musk's ex, Twitter, reportedly hiring more election disinformation staff. I did not know this. In my opinion, they will try to control the narrative, and through algos promote candidates that are in line with their views. Question: how can we get the word out that Den is a better alternative, and that Den doesn't have an election disinformation staff? That's so funny. It's so true. Maybe part of the answer is linking back to the politics layer, or hopefully the coming soon layer, 2024 U.S. election year, that maybe will show multiple uncensored views. So yes, so let's go backwards on that. I would say yes. Let's try. Let's campaign amongst the denizens to get the 2024 U.S. election layer approved. I don't know who. I don't know if it was you, IM4IM, that proposed it, but we should try to get that made into a new layer. Even if I tell you what, I'll even commit to buying it out. We just have to make sure that we have at least 8 unique voters on that layer proposal. So that's one thing. The next, yes, politics layer is already there. I'm sure the current thing layer will at some point in time move over. I don't think there is a single current thing anymore. Isn't it like about 5 or 6 simultaneous happenings all the time right now? I can't keep up with all of them. So several ways there. And the other is, yeah, just start. Maybe we commit to doing this. Maybe we have some common posts we can link to. Maybe if we had some memes we can post. But either way, anytime anyone on Twitter gets interaction with Musk about this election disinformation layer, we should be replying. I've heard that now the best way in the algorithm to get attention is to reply, not to repost, not to retweet, repost. So that might be worth it. And maybe asking him if is Linda going to control Linda, their CEO, is she going to control this disinformation staff? That's apparently what she wanted. I don't know, it's ridiculous. And, maybe even also whenever you mention that, we don't have election disinformation staff because we have behavior tech, or, maybe something like that would be the way to do it, because it'll spark some interest in someone. Well, what the hell do you mean? Because right now, if you go out there and you get into a conversation on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else about a subject like this, across the board, people have a blind spot as to how we are solving it. Everyone out there is going to think, well, you can solve it with AI, or you can solve it with people, clicking buttons and essentially deciding. Some kid in San Francisco at X deciding whether or not this post about a certain candidate should be banned. Or censored, I should say. So one way or another, it's kind of crazy that they're doing that. And also ask him, why the hell is he going back on whatever they would say is with the community notes mechanism? That there have been multiple cases in the past month that the community notes have disappeared multiple times. Because they were inconvenient or not politically correct, I guess. So interesting that in some cases they're ignored, and why not use that for election info? I don't know. Anyway, so great question. You get credit. Again, no featured content. We do have featured content. I'm sorry, I didn't have an update. Okay, 1 second. Lore, the hidden giant. Okay, this is from Dayrox. Hey there, denizens. Are you looking for a way to earn passive income through a revolutionary platform? Look no further than Den.social and its game-changing layer ownership rights token. Okay, so with Lore, you can participate in the creation of new layers and give tips for favorite creators. But it's also key to unlocking exclusive business layers for strategic partners and internal use. Okay, so Lore is layer ownership rights. So essentially, if you have Lore, you can create Lot is the primary utility, right? So Lot fits directly into Lore fits directly into the Lot contract. So Lot's an NFT. I think there might be more Lot NFTs than any other NFT on the Ethereum blockchain, at least. But either way, go check this post out. Good info. It's interesting because Lore is necessary to create Lot. Lore is limited, and of course, Lot is also limited. But let's see here. I think that is everything. I'm going to go back and we're going to sign out now. So make sure you go to dragonchain.store, get some Dragonchain and Den merch, and contribute to Dragonchain's legal fund at legalfund.dragonchain.com if you are at all able. There's several ways to contribute, both crypto and regular old fiat. There's a bunch of different ways to pay as well. Google, I think Alipay's in there even. You can pay with Apple Pay or just regular credit cards or whatever else. Also, watch Super Happy Dragon Lucky again next week at 10:00 Eastern, 1400 UTC. Make sure you watch the roundtable today at 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC. And follow Dragonchain Real Denizens Jojo Row on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den.social. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. That's everything. Thanks a bunch. Bye.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.